Why would you do that, Pastor Drane? Because my destiny is at the door. It's interesting to me, y'all be seated. As I go to a close, it's interesting to me that they would call Jesus to the carpet, no pun intended, about being a carpenter. It's interesting to me. They tried to tear him down with it, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized they were right. Jesus is very much a carpenter. Carpenters, they cut stuff. They fit stuff. They assemble things. Oh yeah, Jesus was a carpenter. Carpenters specialize in what's called finishing work. Oh yeah, Jesus was a carpenter. Carpenters work from blueprints. They receive their instructions from a master plan. And they do exactly what they've been told to do. They join materials together that were separate. They use nails and they use staples and they use adhesive and whatever else they need to put things together. Carpenters, they check the accuracy of their work. They use levels and they use rules and they use plumbs and they use bobs and they use framing squares because they want to make sure that everything is straight and perfectly aligned. Yeah, Jesus was a carpenter. He was a carpenter. He had to be a carpenter. When I look at carpenters, carpenters have to be able to carry out all aspects of a job, not just one single task. But a carpenter has to be able to change locks. Carpenter has to be able to lay carpet. A carpenter has to be able to fix and repair broken things. Isn't this the carpenter? Is what they said. When I look at the translation in the Greek, tekton, it means carpenter, but it really is describing a contractor, specifically a builder. How many of you know that Jesus is a master builder? Oh, I'm in Bible country. He said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, I'll raise it up. How many of you know that in my life, Jesus has been Mr. Fix-It? When I had something that needed to be mending, he was the one I called. When my spirit sprung a leak, he was the one that patched me up. When I was crooked, he was the one that made me straight. When I was separated from God, he was the one that came in and built a bridge for me to climb over. When I was out of position, he cut me up and he fit me in my rightful place. Anybody ever been under construction and called on the carpenter? Anybody know that when you were level to the ground, when you were looking just like this piece of work right here, almost level to the ground, Jesus came in and he picked you up. But not only did he pick you up, but then he dusted you off. Not only did he dust you off, but he turned you around. When it was that my sins were as scarlet, he just pulled out his paintbrush and he touched me up over here and he touched me up over there and he made me brand new. When it was that the devil had locked me out of my promise, he snatched the keys out of his hand, said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And I was scared to open the door because I knew what that meant. I knew that if I opened the door, I was going to have to change some things in my life. I knew that if I opened the door, I was going to have to leave some fake, phony friends behind. I knew that if I opened the door, then there was going to be a certain level of uncertainty in front of me. But something told me to open the door anyway and to step out on faith. So I grabbed the door and I opened it. And Jesus was standing there and he came on into my life. But he didn't leave me where he found me. He brought me through the door. But I'm nervous. But I don't know. But what about my friends? But I jumped on in anyhow. And my life has never been the same. He never let me fall. He never let me down. And now because he brought me through the door, I don't want to be the only one to come through the door. But Jesus, bring them through the door. Bring them through the door of destiny. Bring them to their new future. Bring them to the altar. Bring them to their rightful place. Bring them to their place of promise. Bring them to the place of fulfillment. Bring them into prosperity. Bring them into wholeness. Bring them into happiness. Bring them into joy. Bring them into peace. Bring them into power. Bring them, bring them, bring them. Bring them through the door. The altar is open, but only after you come through the door. Because once you come through the door of destiny, then there's some praying that's going to have to take place. Come on, I want you to surround this altar. I want you to flood this altar if you believe that this is the decade of destiny and you have walked through the door. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You've walked through the door to finances. You walked through the door to healing. You walked through the door of blessedness. You walked through the door of favor. You've walked through the door of faith. You've walked through the door. You've walked through the door. You've walked through the door. Destiny's door. Destiny's door.